Hi, I'm Randy Miller of Higher Impact Business and Life Coaching. Thanks for joining me today. So, just a few weeks ago, I was in a roundtable, or some would call a mastermind meeting, and one of the gentlemen there asked about a means of continuing to understand and learn and develop based on some information that he had gained, in fact, that day. So we were all looking at the marker board and we were gathering info and writing things down and making notes and drawing diagrams. And sort of at the end of the debriefing session, he made this comment about how do I take what we are learning together and make it part of my daily life and make it part of my business and relationships. So my immediate thought was one of the practices that I've engaged in for many, many years, where, of course, we all know that the teacher learns before, or the coach learns before the coachee or those who are being taught. And like you, I'm a lifelong learner. So as I've understood this process and used it myself, I thought I would share it with him. And so in the meeting, I made a point of saying, you know, one of the ways to do that is to kind of review the material and not just think of it as something you've learned today, something that you would just gather information on, make notes, and then tuck those notes away on the shelf or in the file, and or digitally put them in a folder, and then that's it. You don't go back and review it again, and you just kind of hope that you're going to remember some of the things and make them part of your daily life. So one of the things that I've done, and I'm going to give you a personal example of it here in just a moment, one of the things I've done is reviewed information that I've maybe gone to a conference, read a book, even sometimes something as simple as reading a brochure about information, and I've taken that information and reviewed it again, and that helps to remind me and re-engage my brain and re-engage my thoughts as it relates to the thing that I want to learn and implement. So it's really about practice, practice, practice. But what am I going to practice? What am I going to implement today? How am I going to implement it today? So one of the things that I've done, maybe you've done this as well, but I just recently read a book called Truth at Work by Mark Murphy. And so in this book, there are wonderful, wonderful thoughts, a number of activities, things that I want to apply. So one of the things that I've done with a book like this or any other information, say a binder that I come away from a conference with, I take that information, maybe the next day, 2 or 3 days later, weeks later. I've done this so that even maybe years later, I've gone back to something that I thought had value and just sit down with it very, very quickly. This does not take a long time. In fact, it's better if you don't take a long time doing it. So I would take a book like this that I've read in the last couple of months, and I just open the book. Sometimes I just take the book and scan through it as quickly as just flipping the pages like this, looking at the information. And one of the things that I found just now is that some time ago, as I said earlier, a lifelong learner, so I was getting another certification in coaching. And so as I was going through that process, I learned a phrase about powerful questions. Well, just now, my eye caught a phrase that said powerful questions. In fact, it was a heading in probably about 2/3 of the way back in the book, just as I was flipping through it. So it's interesting because I believe the reason that happens is because we have a system in our brain called the reticular activating system that helps us focus and engage. You may have seen this happen in your life where you buy a new shirt, and then suddenly you see that shirt or that color everywhere around you. It seems like you buy a new car, or at least a different car, and all of a sudden those cars seem to be everywhere on the highway. You see them. You did not see them before, and now you see them everywhere. So to engage that, to purposefully, intentionally engage that system in our brain, just flipping through a book, flipping through the information that we've studied, learned, that we've engaged in the past, will re-engage our brain in relationship to the particular focus that we may need right then. So our brain's interest in what we're doing in our daily life or business or engagement suddenly sees the thing that we are currently engaged in, currently interested in. So, since I've been engaged in this training some time ago, reading this book recently, I find it interesting that the one thing my eye caught as I flipped through the book just now, I'd not flipped through it before doing it with you. My eye goes to the phrase powerful questions, because in coaching, we must learn, we must engage our clientele, we must engage our client, the coachee. We must engage in powerful questions to help that person, to help you engage in life, get over the humps of life, get unstuck, engage in ways that you want to engage. So that's one of the things that we do, is we help others engage in life and become more and more productive. So one of the thoughts here is to engage my mind now in powerful questions. So a powerful question for you is, what book have you recently read? What conference have you recently attended? What have you recently engaged in that maybe just for a moment you would take 30 seconds, go back to that information, flip through it quickly, and see what your brain says, hey, let's think about this today. Let's engage in this today. Let's practice this today. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Randy Miller at Higher Impact Life and Business Coaching. You can reach me at randy@higherimpact.me. That's randy@higherimpact.me. I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great and blessed day.